Oh, hi everybody. Is it really strange that I am super nervous about this and there's 5 people waiting for it to start? Um, we got a chat going over here, so if you guys have any questions for me, go ahead and shoot those in over here. We have a Dalek Bricks because I don't watch Doctor Who. I don't know how to pronounce the word Dalek. I assume it's Dalek. At least I know where it's from. He says they just got nostalgic for that feeling when you first walk into the convention center. Uh, for when you walk into the convention center for the first time that year. I'd say that right now it's a different type of nostalgia for me because my entrance into the convention center is a lot of truck unloading and logistics and you know cat herding. People run around like chickens with their heads cut off. Any other sort of trite little saying I can think of. But it is a feeling I certainly miss. Seeing friends again, connecting with everybody, seeing all the great creations that everyone has brought, and this would be the night where we all came together and had our opening ceremonies, and that's not happening this year. So unfortunately, we just have this. We just have me sitting in my Lego room, um, attempting to do a YouTube live stream for the first time. So I've got a weird question for anybody watching. Um, is it working? Because it looks like I have 2 participants in here. I honestly don't know what I'm doing. So, yeah, welcome. All right, we're up to 4. Hey, it's Tim Lighty. How you doing? Uh, so perhaps I was talking to myself when I first got in here. It's hard for me to tell. Um, excellent. All right, cool. So it is working. That's good to know. So it's Richard Glatter and Tim Lighty, who are, I believe, the only other 2 people in here besides me. So if you guys got questions, shoot, because this is a live Q&A. I posted an opening ceremonies video that is long and rambling and really slapped together. So great. We can sit. You can sit here and watch me drink a little whiskey because this is what I'd be doing at this time of night at the convention center. I'm sure I'd be helping Tim set up the display as I am often around to do because I'm not at all torn in several directions. So explain fireworks. Okay. From what standpoint, like the basic definition of a firework? Um, Fireworks, the next virtual show that we're doing is Brickworld Virtual Con Fireworks. And the way the virtual shows have been working is that we're opening 18 different Zoom meetings with different people running those meetings with different types of displays. We have the Great Ball Contraption, which basically runs a GBC loop all the way from the United States through Australia and back. And we have presentations. We have the Lego Masters doing a number of things. We have trains. We have castles. We have spaceships. And basically, it's what we're doing now to connect the fan community without us being able to meet in person. So we also want the public to be involved because there's a lot of new Lego fans. Apparently, Lego is very popular with people during the shutdowns and during quarantine. People are finding it as a fun hobby, things to do with the family, things to pass the time. So there's a lot of new Lego fans as well, and so we want to cater to the public and the fans. So there's a lot for both. And if you go to the Brickworld website underneath events, you've got a link to all the shows that we'll be doing. The next one is June 27th, and that's Brickworld Virtual Con Fireworks. And it's $9. If you were registered for Chicago and you rolled over your registration fee from 2020 to 2021, you have access to the shows. If you did roll over your registration and you didn't get the email with the access codes, please shoot us an email at contactus@brickworld.com and we will get you squared away. Um, but it's $9 per connection, and as many people as you can get in that connection. With social responsibility, make sure you're 6 feet apart, and if you can't be, wear a mask. But if you can get that several people into one connection, it's only $9. So if you got, say, for example, a family of 4, all 4 of you can attend the show for $9. Where normally it'd be about $48 or more to come to an in-person show. So you get the whole family in there to check it out for just $9. We've got 18 different rooms with different types of displays, activities, games, presentations, demonstrations, all sorts of things for people to check out. It's a lot of fun. And this time, what we didn't do with the April and May show is we didn't record any of it to make it available offline or when the event was over. But we're recording parts of it this time, and you'll have access. All ticket holders will have exclusive access to the content that we record for about a week after the show. So if you can't make it on Saturday, or if you're just tired of sitting in front of your computer because most people are on Zoom for work and school and all sorts of things, um, you can you can still access parts of it for the cost of the 1 day ticket for $9. So that's about it. I go into great depth of detail of everything that's going to be there in the video that I just posted and on our social media feeds and the website. We're going to have some presentations from Lego employees, Jan Beyer, the AFOL event manager, uh, AFOL relations manager of community engagement. He has many titles. I'm sure he has one specific one that's not popping in mind. He's going to do a Q&A. We've got a Lego product designer. We have the manager of tours and events at the Lego House, and she's going to do a presentation about the Lego House. We have the vice president of digital consumer engagement, and she's going to do a presentation. We will also have someone from family engagement from the United States, possibly. We're still waiting for confirmation, and the Brickling team is planning to do a studio tutorial, and they're excited about it. They're just waiting to confirm the times, and we'll put up more details about that as we get them. Let's see. Oh, yay, good. We got another question over here for the other 6 people who are in the room. There's multiple things you want to attend at the same time. You can watch the recordings later. Great idea. Well, thanks, Richard Glatter. I appreciate that a lot. And Richard Glatter is one of our sponsors. He has Brickworld. So if you're looking for new Lego pieces to buy, check out Brickworld. They've got a lot of great stuff. And they are one of our very generous sponsors for the show. And their link will be on, of course, our social media posts, and it will be underneath the vendor links in the show portal as well. So buy some Brickforge products. I know everyone's expendable income is a little tight right now, but if you have the money, I encourage you to spend it with our amazing sponsors and vendors who have worked at our shows and worked so much to get to enhance the community and build our hobby literally in with expansion pieces and expansion sets and complementary pieces like Brickforge. You're welcome, Richard Glatter, and you thank me for the shout out here. Yeah, we had a lot of support. I was actually really impressed with how many of our vendors. I would say like 97% of our vendors ended up sponsoring the virtual shows, which is fantastic. And a lot of our vendors also rolled over their vendor fees, which is very helpful, as is everybody who rolled over their registration fees as well. Because this has certainly been difficult. When in the first year of owning the business, going into the spring is when pre-sales start to come in for the summer shows and for Indianapolis, and we were working on doing a Milwaukee show this year as well, and things were going really well. And then like the second week of March hit, and everything just came to a screeching halt, and then money started flowing in the other direction. And I'm sure a lot of people have similar experiences. There's a lot of small business owners out there. There are a lot of small business owners in the Lego community, and especially in the convention community. So I encourage you guys to spend money with our vendors and sponsors if you can, because a lot of the vendors and sponsors have small businesses, and they rely on in-person shows for their entire year's income. So they don't have that this year, and a lot of them are struggling. And so and some of them have online presence, and unfortunately, some of them haven't built that yet. So if you're able to find them on Bricklink or find their website, give them some Lego love if you can, and then we'll try to get in-person shows going as soon as we can to get them back on their feet and get the community back and connected. Personally, just from a standpoint of the business, well, it's personally and business wise, or both. I mean, I don't want to be responsible for putting a large event together when we're still unsure of how things are with the virus. So obviously, I would feel much more comfortable doing in-person events again once we have a vaccine, and we don't know when that's going to happen. So we just have to wait, and that's what we're doing. And we're just trying to take a day at a time and trying to get these virtual events going. To hopefully, my goal is to just break even for the year. So that's about all on that. Tim Lighty, did I explain enough about fireworks? Do you have more questions about it? This is awkward, you know that? Like, I suppose if I had put a little bit more planning into this, I could have had more to do during the live stream. No, that's fine. Make me sit here and kind of squirm. Because I mean, I guess I'll do my best to make this go a half hour. But if there's no one watching, then there's no reason to keep going. And Justin Nolan from Brickby this year, he says, "What's up? Not much. How are you? Wish you were here, not here, but wish we were all together in Chicago. Well, Schaumburg. You know, those who are local know that Schaumburg is not Chicago. But yeah, I wish we were all together. Oh, we can drag this out. Yeah, I'm sure. I actually have a bunch of stuff laying around here. I can just start showing you stuff I've been working on. But I won't show the collaborative build for Eurobricks for 2021. See, yeah, you can only take it one day at a time. Exactly. Oh, thank you. Richard Glatter says I'm doing a great job. Now, Brickworld question: have I been building it all? Have I had time to? Well, it started out, when this first happened, I was like, all right, perfect. There's no shows. I can kind of work on the stuff that I've been wanting to do. I put a lot of work into our collaborative build for Brickworld because I was like, this will pass by June. Social distancing will kill this thing, and we'll be all good. And that didn't happen. So I started doing YouTube videos, and that has taken a back seat to doing the virtual shows. But I'm surrounded right now by the next video that I'm going to be doing. Here's a little preview of the next video that I'll be doing is a video on brick techniques, on making a brick facade for a building that looks like actual brick, not like actual Lego brick. And so the way that this is going to progress, I'm going to get a little bit of a teaser, is start with like a basic mini modular, kind of modeled this after the old Main Street building. The that's just It's just using Lego brick, basic Lego brick and windows to kind of make a brick facade. And so the point of the video is to take the Lego bricks and replace them with something that has more of a realistic brick texture. So the first one, I'm literally surrounded by these things, is this here. And it's not complete, but it's close enough. And, this is basically, it's got a little bit of texture up here, and then we played a little bit more with color. A lot of times on the first floor of a building, even if it's beautiful, beautiful original brick, a lot of businesses will paint it to match their brand, which drives me crazy because I love natural brick. But this is basically almost like trying to respect people's budget and the possibility, a lot of kids hopefully will watch the video and be inspired by it. And they might not have the collection that a lot of AFOLs have, and they might not have the access to, say, Bricklink or, a vast resource of finding parts. I mean, they can go to Bricklink, but maybe they don't know about it yet. So if they want to build it like right now, they just use some of these like basic brick facade bricks, and just kind of show it and throw it in there to show a little bit of texture, like a little bit of wear and tear over time, and just some basic building techniques to enhance what would be otherwise a basic build. And then moving on to, I think this was more similar, but I was just playing with like how a lot of street businesses, and I'm basing it, I live in Chicago, so I'm basing this off a lot of what I see in the brownstones. Different ways to make the windows more interesting, make the different types of businesses, and then a lot of these businesses have awnings. As a matter of fact, it's a huge business here in Chicago that it's brand your awning. So my fun story with this one is I was showing these to Matt and explaining what I was doing with the video, and we're starting with I've got I don't think the apothecary one is actually in here, so I guess I don't have everything in here. But like I have like a really dark green one that was going to be like a flower shop, and then this is like the muscle gym because I think it's funny for things to look opposite. So it's hilarious, right? And then sort of basic brick one, like playing with the different brick textures um, that are what's it called? Um, it's a real easy way, and there's this brick is in every set nowadays. So hopefully, kids, new builders, anybody can kind of play with that and using that as a facade. I don't like that the light was not was a little bit tilted. So there's that. And then working with my favorite technique for brick techniques is doing snotted tiles. So whoops, I don't know how to do this quite yet. um, but in the city, like a lot of buildings have stone facades on the first floor, like a really nice sort of, and a lot of them are what's it called, landmarks, historical landmarks, and so they can't really change the facade on some of them because they're some sort of famous architect did them, or they were some sort of historical society or some sort of historical building at some point. So I just kind of played there. You can kind of see that I just played with some tile, um, getting a brick texture there, and then that's the stone facade on the first floor. And then, okay, working with building a larger building. This is kind of where I'm stuck in the tutorial. But I mean, what I've done here is I've put a little bit of like mortar space between all of the bricks here, and you can kind of see that this is a different type of building. This is more of a residential building. But I've also used old brown and new brown just to give it more of a texture. And I have a couple more that I have planned in studio that show how to use different colors because if a kid watches this and they're really excited about it, they probably don't have access to a lot of old brown tile. I'm drowning in it for whatever reason. Well, because I obsess over it and buy mass amounts of it on Bricklink. That's why. But like just different kind of. I actually have a little. So what I'm thinking that is more accessible for someone with a new collection is to take similar colors and kind of do the same thing. So I've got like some really shiny bags. I've got that's not open. I think this is a good similar mix with the dark orange and the medium nougat, and then I started playing with this because this was kind of like the brick pattern on the house that I grew up in. So that's kind of what I've been spending a lot of my time on. I'm building an escape room for the next show. So I built a little Victorian mansion in studio. I haven't built it in real life yet. And we're having a Eurobricks like online build party on Saturday. And I think that's how I'm going to spend my time during that is making sure that that mansion gets built. Because I got to drop it off with Kevin Lauer by the 22nd so that he can run the escape room for me since I'll be running the help desk. So, and then I did a building round tutorial on YouTube, and I have the tower. I can see it. I just can't reach it from here. And so if you look at that video, I'm going to expand that into a larger Fabuland building, but give it more techniques of how to take a round tower and build it into a square building so that you have multiple angles to work with. And kind of, the first challenge is learning how to build something outside of the square medium with a square medium, outside of a square with a square medium, and then build it into something because there aren't very many examples of just lone towers out there. I don't want to make that motion again. That made me a little uncomfortable. Thank you, Richard. He says they all look great. It will be a good video once I finally get around to it. Hopefully after the next virtual show, I'll have some time. Hawkeye Lego Man, Brickworld Chicago question. What's to happen with this year's brick badge, minifigure, lanyard, Gujik, etc.? Great question. All right, thank you. So the Gujik is along with the event set and the GBC workshop set. They're all sitting in K8s in our guest room here and just waiting for me to have the time to collate everything. There's some other brick that we order. There's some other things that we order brick for that I definitely need to give them different storage places. Getting ready for the virtual show has been a lot more involved for this one than it was for the last two, just because I'm really trying to make things structured, trying to get some exciting things in it. I've been spending about as much time as I would on an in-person show trying to get a virtual show together. So once that show's done, I'll start getting these taken care of. I have to order the boxes and the instructions, and that's the biggest hurdle for the GBC set and the exclusive, the bridge set. Now the brick badge, unfortunately, this year we decided to refund everybody who ordered a brick badge, and I'm so sorry that we're not going to be offering the brick badges themselves. But if you rolled over your registration, we're going to get your 2020 brick to you, even if we have to keep it in next year's registration, because those they cost like they cost a little around like $2 to get those bricks made, including materials and the engraving, and then it costs sometimes $4 to ship them. So it's kind of like we're going to ask people to hang out, and we'll get them the 2020 brick with their registration next year. But what we'll do with what we have left over is we'll sell the rest of the 2020 bricks. So you'll be able to get the 2020 1x8 brick, but unfortunately, just because there's so much involved in making the badges, we've decided to refund everybody for their badges for this year. The minifigure. All right, so I was in the middle of designing the minifigure when all this started happening, and I was like, okay, well, I'll put this off to the side. And now we have, we're motivated to um, bring in some income, and I got a bunch of torsos this year with the idea of making some additional event figures that people could purchase. So I think what we're going to do is for the October show is I'm going to, finally, once I have some time, sit down and design a few torsos. And what I want to concentrate on, and I don't know if the fan community wants this. I can put out a poll. I mean, you guys can tell me in the chat what you think of this. But I want to design some castle peasant torsos because there aren't many, and they're usually like soldiers or the king or the queen, or there's not too much that's just like merchants and peasants. And so I want to do a few of those. I want to do like a couple female, a couple male, and see if if people like them, and if that's a good use of our resources now, then so be it. But I definitely want to be able to offer people things to enhance their builds and their enjoyment of the hobby while we're stuck not being able to do shows in person. What else did you ask about the minifigure? The lanyard. The lanyard. The lanyard itself isn't dated. I had new ones made, and they have a safety clasp, and they're kind of cyan. But yeah, they're just sitting on a shelf. But yeah, unfortunately, we're gonna do everything we can to get the minifigure made. The event set will definitely get made. A lot of people have already purchased them, and what we're going to do with that is we're going to add a shipping option to your My page on the Brickworld website, and then if you pay for shipping, we'll ship it to you. If not, you can, as Crystal, who is in Australia, has already told me, you can just hang on until next year. We are going to do the same thing for next year. We're going to stick with building bridges. This year, apparently, we chose bridges, and I called it building bridges so many times. I've been advised to just go with that, make it building bridges. So I don't know if we'll just stick with the stock that we have of the Babbling Brook Bridge set, or if we'll make a new set, or if I'll reorder the pieces to make more of them. But we'll see how we do with the stock that we have. Bob Luzensky and Maria Gatto are going to do a collaborative build because Bob Luzensky is a genius, and he's one of these GBC guys who really knows how to engineer things. He's going to create a wheel and some specs, and then every lug or every group or individually, we don't know exactly how it'll work yet. He'll get details to me once we get things going. He's going to build like a giant wheel, and then each spoke of the wheel will be a bridge. So every lug and people will be able to add bridges to it, and it'll be kind of a really cool collaborative display, which we haven't really had at Brickworld. We had cool collaborative displays, of course. I just mean like a community where anybody, without any planning, people can just get specs and kind of show up and bring something, and it connects everybody together. So it's like an interlug collaborative build. I've missed some questions here. Cool. Oh, yay. Yeah. Also, okay, Kappa Bricks. Yes, I'm incredibly sad that Brickworld is not happening this year. It's like my Christmas, and so the first year I own the business and we can't put it on. It's been very sad for me as well. So I mean, you're not alone, man. 2020 2021 Brickworld is still a year away, but I'm excited to see what people build with the extra time, right? Yeah, me too. One of the things I said in the video is if you want to send us pics or a short video of what you were going to bring this year, we'll do a supercut of all of the new mocks and everything in the October show. Since you guys can't talk to me, why do I even have a headset in? Okay, anyway. Bricks and Stuff says, "What's up, Mark? How you doing?" Yeah, I'm good. I got a little glass of whiskey here, so I'm doing better than I was before. Stash. Yeah, I think I got the idea for doing more peasants and merchants from Stash. I think we were at PF Chang's. Um, and let's see, Lake Kadachi, how are you? Always want more Castle Peasant things. All right, good. Crystal Whitaker is here. Awesome. Crystal dialing in from Australia. So Stratzma is here. Elisa is here. Yeah, I like that bridge set too. Thank you. I mean, I guess I'm biased because I designed it, but yeah, I was excited about it, and it'd be fun to create a new one. Um, but I really do like what's there, and we know what pieces are needed, and I was able to apply those pieces to a bunch of other builds, bunch of other projects that we had going for Brickworld. So let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to next year as well. I mean, here's really hoping that we're able to do a show by June 2021. Um, Same master builder for next year. But yeah, because you know what, we're not doing. We are doing a number of virtual shows this year, but we're not going to do the traditional Brickworld awards. So we won't be awarding anyone Lego Master just because we won't all be together, and we kind of want to honor the structure of a fan convention. So we're going to take a year off of the Brickworld awards. But what we'll do is we'll do a virtual con award, and I don't know what that looks like yet, but our awards coordinators are working on it, and they've got some ideas. And so we may do a public poll so that like fans and public can all vote on their favorite displays from October. We want October to be a bigger show and more of a fan convention, so we will be adding more to that show than we have the other shows. And I'm not going to say anything more about that yet because Brian Bonahum and I will start working on that after the June 27th show. Um, so Crystal says she is waiting for her bridge to be shipped to Oz. I thought you said to hold on to it until next year, but we can certainly discuss it because we're going to add the shipping option to the site. So if you're willing to pay for it to be shipped, yeah, we can do that. I just don't know if it's worth it. You know what I should do though also is just to get it out there because I know people like it is post the instructions once I have them made. Oh, you were kidding. Thank goodness. 4 times bridesmaid. Well, you know what? Everyone's a bridesmaid this year, Tim. So yeah, sorry. You're like the perennial nominee. You and Barbara Hoel. Have you actually have? Now I'm asking you guys questions. Tim, have you and Barbara been nominees together every year for the last 3 years? Is that correct? Am I remembering that correctly? I'm gonna wait for an answer and take a sip here. Maybe you got tired of me. See if there's anything else around here I can show. Not really. I do have something. I've kind of taken and like most of the stuff that's built, I've moved to other places in the house to kind of display. There, he and Barbara are rivals to the death. She wasn't going to be there this year, so I mean that was like kind of your best chance. That sounded like a backhanded compliment or like a full-handed insult. Sorry, that's not what I meant at all. It annoys me that you have not yet won it. Why am I reading text? Like I'm just going to stop and answer text. This is one of the round towers that I built, and I was trying to work with kind of like different stone techniques because the base of a lot of these towers uses like a heavier stone, and then it goes into like more of a flagstone as it gets higher. And like the monstrosity behind it, like you can kind of see it's just kind of even collapsing a little bit on its own weight. And so this is an idea of building it into like a larger structure, and I don't think I'm going to go any further with it because it's a nightmare trying to get all this to line up. It spins a little bit. I was trying to make sure the seams didn't meet. It's fragile. This is like tissue paper. But we'll see because I'm not done with. I'm not going to give up on that yet. this is one of my favorite things, and I've been like hiding it because I don't want the public to see it until it's like in a mock. There's just this weird thing in the back of my head is just like, well, if someone sees like one piece of it, they'll steal that piece of it and they'll do better with it, and who cares? Like this is for the community, so I mean, if you like this, take it and run with it. But this is one of the windows that I was trying to work into the tower originally. Where's the best place to show that? There, I guess that is. But I was really excited about this, and it did not fit into the tower because it's way too wide. But I'm gonna work this into something because this was a lot of fun. But it's just basically like it's two of these old fence pieces, which one of my favorite pieces. Just kind of snotted into um, jumper plates so that it's 5 across on each side, and it gives you a 4 wide window. So it was like one of those fun aha moments. And yes, I did just spit all over the table. Where you're building, like as a Lego builder, where you put something together, you're like, I wonder if this will work because I really want this to look cool. And then you step back from it for a minute, and you're like, yay! Because I often do that. I often just go when I see things I built. All right, why are you guys letting me do this? Yeah, it was definitely Tim Lighty's. This would have been Tim Lighty's year without a doubt. So my Fabuland collection, it's the stuff that I have built is in the other room. I have a giant one of like the Lego distributor tubs filled with Fabuland walls, and then I do. Here's a piece of one I was working on. It doesn't make sense without the top, but I was like making windows for a Fabuland creation, and I never use those pieces. They're actually really hard to use. I do have like, all right, here, this is gross, and lots of stuff just fell. I do have 3 tubs worth of Fabuland figures. And let's see. Hold on. Great. This is like the Fabuland horror box right here. Because it's all just like body parts and like mostly either decapitated bodies or disembodied heads. But it still brings me joy because all Fabuland pieces bring me joy, even if it's just like a big bundle of horror, like this one. But I spent a lot of time like taking these apart. I actually have a tutorial on Eurobricks on how to like make a custom Fabuland figure, not custom, but like you can knock those red pins out and take the legs out, and then regular minifig arms fit into these holes. So I can show you. Here, I'll show you. So a regular minifig arm. This is great. I should do this more often. Honestly, it's not usually this difficult. I don't know why this is. There it goes. Regular minifig arms fit in a Fabuland torso, and then I don't like that one. Make it a cow. And then put them back together. They weren't necessarily made to be customizable, but they are if you work hard enough. It actually takes like a nail punch and some WD-40 to get these red pins out. Let's see, how am I doing here? That's like half the Fabuland figures in the U.S. Yeah, I like the street value of this tub alone. Let's see. I do have to stop hoarding them because I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Every time I start a Mafia game, because that's the thing that happens on Eurobricks is we play a game called Mafia. It's more fun if I just say we play Mafia and leave it there and just let people imagine what they want to. But every time I start a new game, I don't want to reuse the figures from the one before, so I sit there with my nail punch, I knock out the pins, and I put together different characters. I take the heads off, and honestly, every time one of the neck pieces breaks, create like Fabuland figure. It's not even a tutorial. It's just like just letting you know things are happening. By the way, these ones that have like eyeballs, I think are creepy. I think the ones that have like no eyeballs like animals do are adorable, but this is like a polarizing question. Like which one's cute to you? And some of their nightmares to everybody. They're both nightmares to some. Um, but like these freak me out, and these are adorable. Um, and I lost my train of thought. Let's see. Are there a lot in Billund? Are there a lot of Fabian figures in Billund? I'm buying a plane ticket right now. um, I have been to Billund. I went in like 2007, and I did get to tour the model shop. We were trying to get into the Lego vault. I don't think the Lego house was there yet. Is that a real thing? Was it? Is that new? This is before I worked for Legoland. We got to tour the model shop, and at the time they were kind of playing fast and loose with things. And one of the designers let us like fill our pockets with pieces. He gave us a minute to grab whatever we wanted. And I happened to go to like the window bin, and I was obsessed with town buildings at the time. And I grabbed a bunch of windows that weren't like they weren't available in those colors at the time. And since then, Legos produced sets with those pieces, and so like for like a moment, I was like on top of the world. And what's funny is I would use them in mocks, and I'd bring them to conventions, and like most people don't realize that some pieces aren't made in certain colors, and nobody ever asked like, hey, where'd you get that window in tan? Whatever. I don't know the point of that story. Yet is the key word. Um, oh, Firez. Actually, he is around here somewhere. I can actually just pull out random mafia characters from here. Does anybody have a non-Fabuland figure related question? Because this is devolving quickly. Would you consider having yourself the keynote speaker of Brickworld 2021? No. I don't think I should discuss the history of Fabuland for 2+ hours. Yeah, I mean now, my first reaction was no way. But if it's to discuss the history of Fabuland for 2+ hours, then of course. I think that's a great use of everyone's time. This is not the Firuz bin. So there's 3 bins. There's the horror bin of disembodied heads and decapitated bodies, um, and then that's this one is the full normal figure one. This is the elephant in the raincoat, and then this is the one of ones I put together. This was I can't think of the Star Wars character's name. He is not the one who gets his arm cut off. He's the instigator in the Mos Eisley Cantina. Cop Mike and I used to do Star Wars Fabuland vignettes, I guess you'd call them. But yeah, Farouz is probably in here somewhere. I think this is Bennett. This is Pandriany Danger from the Harry Potter spoof one I did. Yeah, there's lots of them in here. Anyway, anybody want to hear anything interesting? Not that I have anything. I just wonder if anybody has any other questions that might be more interesting than me digging through a bin of Fabuland figures. Dr. Evans, Dr. Evazan. Yes, thank you, Stash. Of course, Stash knows. All right, excellent. Thank you guys for supporting me for this. I'm not sure that there's any other good reason to keep going. There are 12 of us here, and I do believe I know all of you. So thanks for being here. One thing that we're going to do after the June 27th show is we're going to have an A-Full after party. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the link to the Zoom rooms. I'm going to send them out to the lugs through our lug ambassador network. I'm going to send them to our coordinators. And I'm going to start with one room to see how many people show up. And if we need to create more than one, we'll create more than one. It'll be like World of Lights, except there doesn't need to be any Lego. There's not going to be any set schedule, and there's no requirement, but just to kind of sit around and hang out and Zoom drink if you're into that. But was the fireworks to be paid to watch? Yes. So the Brickworld Virtual Con fireworks is $9 per connection. And that's for not only the connection for the live show, but then we're recording some of the content and making it available after the show, exclusively to people who are ticket holders. And it's per connection, so it's not per person. You have to pay $9 per person, like you would at an in-person event. So if you got a family of four, if you got five people around who can, socially distance from each other, who can share a connection, bring as many people as you feel comfortable having on one connection just for $9. And that's just to keep everything going. We're not looking to do anything more than break even. I mean, if if we want to sell like 4,000 tickets and like actually make a profit off the show, great. But it's like, to be realistic, we have some costs that come with the Zoom subscription that we'd like covered. So that's basically what we're trying to do. I've done some advertising for the show as well. So we're not trying to, we don't, in the future, we'd like to add like a virtual component to our in-person events, but I wouldn't feel good about ever moving it into like the double-digit area. At least not now. Let's see what inflation does in the next decade. But I think a $9 connection ticket is fair, and we'll see how things go in the future. But there's a lot going on. If you check out the video, you check out the posts that we're making on our social media networks. There's a ton for you to see. A lot of interaction. Some really cool stuff with the Lego Masters. Some really cool stuff with official Lego employees. Some product reveals from Brick Model Railroader. GBC demonstrations, presentations, tutorials, games, activities, a lot going on there. Yeah, in all honesty, it is a lot cheaper than the entire thing. And what we're finding is that like the Zoom connection, people kind of have an expectation of there being some sort of interaction or presentation. So like just a static display or even a moving display, like Great Ball Contraption always draws people in, but we had like a large amusement park and they had multiple cameras on it. It was really well displayed with all the camera views that were possible, but like since nothing was actually being said or presented, or since it was just the display, people didn't stick around quite so much. So these are what we wanted to be like virtual expos are becoming virtual conventions where there's a schedule and every hour there's something going on and that everyone is offering some sort of presentation, demo, or activity with every hour of the show. So it's pretty cool. There's nothing out there like it yet. We certainly encourage other people to take the model and run with it. And it will get into the future. It'll give people an opportunity to go to shows who don't have the ability to afford shows or have other limitations that stop them from going to shows. The schedule for next week does look awesome, and we're still working on it. Like we're not even done with everything yet, but I'm pretty excited about everything that's going to be in there. And I hope people stop by, and I hope people enjoy it, of course. And yeah, you don't have to pay airport fare. You don't have to pay parking. You don't have to pay gas, anything. Just internet connection, and then the ticket for the link and password for our show portal. Zoom drink, yeah, that's a thing, Stash. That's definitely a thing, and I've probably done a little too much of it. Um, do I have any sealed Fabuland sets? I don't have any sealed anymore. I don't think I don't think I've recently found any. I have a couple blister packs that are still sealed. I have like the panda and the bathtub, and there's a walrus with a roadster and the bricklayer, the monkey, the bricklayer. I have a bunch of original boxes that have been opened. I mean, most of the sets nowadays are, if they have the box with them, they're not sealed. But I have the hotel box, I have the big house box, I have the fire station box, the police and fire station box, the city hall, the general store. I have a couple times the cottage. And if you have Fabuland boxes, I would be more than interested in trading or purchasing them from you. And what I intend to do with them eventually is get them shadow box framed and decorate the walls of my Lego room with them. But right now, since this room is only 10 by 10, so every wall is covered with shelves. Like the camera, well, I mean, this is the computer camera, but the camera for the YouTube videos is sitting between Lego boxes on a shelf. So there's really not room to decorate the walls with shadow box Fabuland boxes anyway. Yeah, 12-hour drive is a lot, Richard. Dear Lord. Oh, well, so tomorrow's your birthday. Happy birthday to Richard. Wait, what's today? Thursday? So 2 days it's your birthday. Tomorrow, by the way, is the 20th anniversary of Bricklink. Um, Yeah, I would say Lisa Kirkpatrick has come up with a new way to interact with the public for every show that we've done, and she keeps coming up with more and more fun things to do, and people always enjoy it. She does the same thing with the in-person shows. She always has a new way to have kids line up and just be crazy about doing whatever activities she's put together. She probably does more interaction with kids and with young Lego fans than anybody else who does exhibits for shows. I started calling them exhibits because the word displayer always gives me an autocorrect, and so I started using the term exhibitor. So now I'm using exhibits for Lego displays. I think it sounds cool, so I'm sticking with it. Um, Anybody else have questions? Um, what's the whole up thing? Oh, Phil Strassman said it fills the hole that's left from the in-person event a bit. Anyway, I all I could read was the first half of it. I thought he was like talking about one of these creations that there was a hole in one of them, and he was wanting me to like fill it in. But now I'm on the same page. Um, you're welcome, Elisa. Thank you. All right. So it's Richard Gladder's 20th birthday on Saturday. That's what I'm understanding that you're saying by the 20th. Um, yeah, I so Richard is it's interesting to see how interaction changes with being in person versus virtual. Um, Yeah, it is definitely not at all the same. Obviously, but I mean, even if we're trying to say it's a virtual expo, people don't have the same expectation, and I think a lot of people are kind of new to the idea of a Lego event. So when they come into the event, they just see Zoom meetings and they have different expectations from Zoom. So we have like a couple different things where like people would be in a room and they wouldn't have any participants, and then a participant would come in and they'd say, "Oh, hey, welcome. Do you want me to show you anything specific? Do you want to talk about anything?" And then they'd be nervous that someone was talking to them, and they'd leave. And so they don't necessarily want to interact. They want to see like a presentation, almost they're almost expecting it to be a webinar, and that seems to be what they want it to be. Kale Ipart is here. Trains, yes, there's a lot of train stuff going on at this show. So brick model railroad, brick. Uh, Brick Model Railroader. When I was doing the video, I had to repeat it like 5 times before I finally got it. And it's out. I'm out of practice, so it tripped me up again. Brick Model Railroader is doing a new product reveal. At the very beginning of the show, and then Kale is going to lead a Lego fan community roundtable discussion, a 2-hour discussion. And they did one at the last show. It went over really well. And if you are interested in Lego trains, join up for that. And then Monty's Trains is going to be there. He's got a pretty big Lego train layout. He's got a lot of trains running, and he has a bascule bridge, one of those giant one of those giant kind of clam-shaped truss bridges that it lifts for boats to go underneath, or trains or whatever else it needs to lift for. But instead of lifting both sides, it lifts one side. It's very cool. He's going to be demonstrating that on the 15 and 45 of every hour. He's going to be adding a new train on every hour and half hour, and he's got a lot of cameras set up. He really knows what he's doing. It's pretty cool. It's not pen lug cool, but it's cool. And he'll be there all day doing stuff for that. So that's a lot of stuff for trains, a lot of stuff for space. If you are interested in building a ship, which stands for Seriously Huge Investment in Parts, Ben Hauger will be there doing a shipbuilding demonstration. So if you've never done one before and you'd like to, he's going to kind of walk you through on how to tackle a big project like that, which is excellent because Ben's done so many awesome spaceships in the past. Okay, cool. Kale knows Monty. Awesome. Yeah, he's very cool, and he's got some good stuff planned for the show, and he's excited about it. And he understands how to set things up for multiple cameras. Um, Monty might be cooler than Penlug, because Monty's solo and Penlug is multiple people. Oh, I was having a little train war here. It's getting heated. Can he build a ship in 6 hours? I don't know. I don't know why he's not on here. I mean, where's the support from Ben Hauger? Um, I don't know if he's going to build the entire thing, but I think he has a process set up where he can show the different parts of it. And so he has an actual I don't remember the exact number, but he's actually setting out to show you how to build a 50 stud spaceship. And so I think he's probably got some stages of it built, and he might have the entire thing done in LVD. I'm assuming all of this because I don't know the actual specifics. I just said shipbuilding demonstration in the schedule, and that was all I had to do with it. And he's kind of, self-sufficient in that way, which is awesome. So yeah, I don't know. He can. Oh, and it's not 6 hours. He's only doing a 2-hour presentation. So can he build a ship in 2 hours is the question. So cool. So we're at about 50 minutes, and that's looking like we can wrap it up here in a little bit, unless anybody has any other questions before I go. Thanks for being the guinea pigs for my first live stream. I want to start doing live streaming, but I don't know what I'm doing, and I certainly don't have the equipment. My jogging headset isn't probably the best microphone in the world, but I have no idea how to. I want to have guests, but I don't see any button that says add guests, so I'll have to try to figure that out now. Are there dates for 2021? Yes, it's Father's Day weekend 2021. Let me open my calendar. Can't remember the exact days. I think it's the 19th and 20th is the public day. So the dates for 2021, I did just sign the contract the other day, are going to be June 16th through the 20th. Yay! So, exactly a year away. We'll hopefully all be in person together. Putting up a cool collaborative build, maybe 5. Maybe we'll have a bunch of ideas and be really good with our time and build it and fill up the entire slot of collaborative builds on the ballot and compete with ourselves 5 ways. How do you come across or have the volunteers to display leader discussion for the virtual? How do you come across or have the volunteers to display leader? Oh, so for the virtual shows, what happened, we reached out to some people. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know if we were going to have it done correctly. Actually, Brian Bonahum came up with the interface in like 2 days. I mentioned it, maybe even less than that. I mentioned it like on a whim. I was like, what do you think about doing a virtual show? And he figured it out really, really quickly. And then we didn't know how the bandwidth for the site would be or like how people would be interested. So I just called up a few people. Gosh, I don't remember how I even decided, or I think who knows. And I just kind of like did like a real quiet invite, made an announcement. It went really well. Our first show went even better than our second show. And for the second one, we had some people trickle in from different mugs and kind of ask if they could. And we had someone hit me up on Instagram and just say, hey, I've got a display. Would you be interested in having it? And just kind of working with getting different content for each show. We've actually had enough people just volunteering and contacting us, some just through the website, others through Instagram, through Facebook, and or just through friends or through other contacts in the show. So actually, we've had to turn a couple people away, which is great. So people definitely want to be involved. I just hope as many people want to see it. I understand that there's Zoom fatigue and that people are going to, they go to Zoom for school and work and everything. And when it's the weekend and it's nice outside, they don't want to sit in front of Zoom for another 6 hours. It's getting old. I mean, I totally understand that. So, but there's going to be cool stuff going on regardless, and it's the only way the fan community or new Lego fans or the public have to connect with this community for a while. So, if it's something you like to do, even if it's nice outside, please stop by. It doesn't even need to be that day because we're going to have some of the content available. We're hoping to have at least an hour from each room available after the show. And then in October and December, we'll have a Halloween show and a holiday show, and hopefully people will have time to check that out as well. Many collabs, don't test them. Cool. So that's I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and thanks everybody for being here. We had like 14 people here and 10 likes. That's awesome. I think it's a pretty good rate of satisfaction. I don't know that I'd be satisfied with watching me dig through a bin of Fabulous figures for 10 minutes or so. But I'm going to go ahead and end it. Thanks again, and keep in contact through the social network. If you guys have any other questions about Brickworld, hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and keep everybody connected. And I hope to talk to you guys soon, and certainly hope to see you all in person in a year. Thanks, everybody. Did I end it? No, I didn't. Yes.